Hello, Hillwood. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kinsey.
Here's what's happening at HMS.
Skateboard Club meets Tuesday after school.
Cross-country runners turn in your uniforms in Coach Nevitt's room 211 immediately.
And now here's this week's edition of Back in the Day Friday.
But it's Monday.
Well, I saw it on YouTube Friday.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, but don't tell old man Nevitt.
Let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you, you couldn't have been too much more than 10. Just get back to where you once belonged. Get back.
Welcome to another episode of Back in the Day Friday. I'm Eliza and I'm here with Old Man Nevitt. So let's get to the Back in the Day Friday mailbag.
All right, let's see. What do we have today on the Back in the Day Friday mailbag?
Well, this one says, Dear Old Man Nevitt, I was laying down relaxing and a sudden thought came to mind. What was the internet first like when it came out? I mean, obviously it's not as advanced as it is now, but was it reliable like it is now? Was it for the common man or just a rich man's toy? Also, was it riddled with video games like it is now? From Kamar.
All right, well, that's a great question, Kamar. Pretty well thought out. Sound like a pretty sharp guy, especially for somebody from your generation. So, the internet was actually invented by Al Gore. You ever heard of Al Gore?
Nope.
That's because he didn't really invent the internet. Al Gore ran for president, got the most votes, but didn't become president because he exaggerated. And people back in the day, they don't like that kind of thing. Don't like a bunch of braggarts back in the day. We were more humble, and he ticked off a few hundred guys in Florida, lost the election even though he got the most votes, and lost a spot in the history books. So, to your question, Kamar, the internet wasn't actually a rich man's toy. That's an interesting question, though. It actually started out with the military and with academics. So it starts out with some people with some brains, some discipline, something a lot of people in your generation could use. So it starts out in the late 60s, military and academic use, and expands through the 80s. But it's not until the 90s that it really becomes something that's more widespread, something that people like you and I, everyday people, begin to use. So the early days, the first time I ever saw the internet, it was just text, just black and white, kind of like an old DOS screen. If I want to take a look over here.
What are you doing, Old Man Nevitt?
Just saving the world.
Okay. So what's our Back in the Day Friday artifact today?
All right, well, I'm glad you asked that, Lizzie. We've got a great back in the day artifact right here. Oh, here we go. What do you think? What do you think this is?
Air conditioner?
An air conditioner. Here, you feel anything?
No.
Getting cooler? No, not an air conditioner.
Chest of drawers?
Chest of drawer. Come on. The chest of drawers, it does open up at the top, but a chest of drawers come out, right? And how are you going to fit your jeans and your sweater in there? It's not going to work, is it? Not space. No, not a chest of drawers. Take one more shot.
A jukebox?
Jukebox. How do you know about a jukebox?
Oh, I've been to an old-timey restaurant that has one.
Oh, well, they like some of those restaurants, they like to throw those kind of artifacts, back in the day artifacts onto the walls to kind of pull in the younger, curious generation. So, that's actually a good guess. Similar because a jukebox does kind of the same thing. They were used to in public situations. This is a record player.
Okay.
Record player. So, record player plays music and plays records. So we've got a few here. You want to take a look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Got Miles. Say, wait! Careful now! Don't touch that yet. Why don't you put on these gloves and then you can handle the record. These are valuable. Yes, valuable back in the day artifacts. The record player was invented by Thomas Edison in 1877, called the phonograph originally. And so Edison's phonograph, it was the first to be able to record and then reproduce sound. Brand new thing and a big deal because before then you want to hear music, you have to hear it live. So Edison's invention can actually record sound. There's a speaker, and as you speak, when you speak, it makes sound waves, right? As you speak, you make sound waves, causes vibrations in the air. So the diaphragm captures those, and there's a stylus that then traces those vibrations, those same waveforms, the shape of the same waveform into a cylinder that's covered with tinfoil. So that tinfoil cylinder rotates, and the shape of the actual sound wave is traced into that. And then when it's wound again, they had to wind it by hand. They can replay that sound. So in 1887, a guy named Emil Berliner invents a version that uses a wax disc. So this is going to be more similar to our modern record player. It records onto the wax disc that spins there. As things improve, that eventually is going to lead to records that are easier to play, more portable, and eventually lead to the vinyl record that we have right here. So the early versions, they were acoustic. They weren't very loud. They had to have a horn attached to them. And then there's a diaphragm, kind of like in a loudspeaker now, that vibrates and the sound comes out of the horn. Mid-1920s, they finally invent the first electric record players that uses a pickup to change that sound wave into an electric signal, into an analog electric signal, then feeds it through an amplifier and back through a speaker, and now we have the first loudspeaker record. So why don't we take a look at one of those? You ready to take that out?
I am.
So that's Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, one of the greatest albums of all time. Here, let me help you with that. One of the greatest albums of all time here, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. So they come in these protective sleeves because the records are easily damaged. You have to be real careful not to get the record scratched. Then it doesn't play back right. So can you see the grooves in there?
I can.
Yeah, you actually can see the grooves here. And so when the record is made, when the record's pressed, it actually traces the sound wave there, and you're reproducing the exact sound wave. One of the cool things about the record is the artwork. I liked records the most because of that. You've got something that's really cool. This is Led Zeppelin's 4th album here. If you look inside, Stairway to Heaven, the final song on side 1, and you've got the painting there to go along with it. Really cool, really neat. This is the Beatles' White Album. You heard of the Beatles, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we love the Beatles here on Back in the Day Friday. So the Beatles, the actual title of the album was The Beatles. So it doesn't say White Album anywhere, does it? What does it say?
The Beatles.
Yeah, it just says The Beatles. There's actually some raised print there. It's pretty neat. And then you have this number right here. So when the original album came out, nothing on it but The Beatles. That was the actual title. People came to call it the White Album. You know why?
Because it's white?
Oh, you're a sharp girl, Lizzie. Yeah, because it's white. And so the early copies also had this stamp here. So you can see this is an early copy, vintage copy of the White Album. Has the stamp right there. So you want to take a listen?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's check it out. So again, we're going to be real careful as we get it out. Usually we'll use a brush here on the album. I didn't bring my brush, but you want to keep your albums nice and clean. Use the brush so they don't get dusty, they don't get scratched, because they're easily damaged, and once it gets that scratch, it's never going to sound quite right. So this is the stylus right here,
Okay.
and we'll just move it over, and then this one, a more modern record player here. This one actually has the bar to bring the tone bar down automatically.
Oh, wow.
And so there you are. We got the Beatles right here on Back in the Day Friday on vinyl, vintage copy. Records actually making a comeback with collectors and with some of those hipsters out there. So maybe you want to drop by to the record store. You can still find them. Get you a collectible vintage record, and you can be a true fan of Back in the Day Friday.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's it for Back in the Day Friday. Send us a letter.
That's right. Send us a letter. We'll read your letter on Back in the Day Friday. And until next time, we'll see you back in the day.
Let's go back, let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you, you couldn't have been too much more than 10.